Hey everybody, welcome back. So Piers Morgan is someone that I like, but I've been very confused by for a very long time. I think Candace's assessment of he really doesn't come around on issues until it becomes popular is pretty accurate, grand scheme. But he's also very fair. So he brings on Andrew Tate, and then after Andrew Tate's done, he has women on there that are like, how dare you platform him? He's like, he's not convicted. Like, he's not one to convict someone in the court of public opinion. I have a lot of respect for that, given that it's really easy to do and a very popular thing. But I've been very confused by him railing on Andrew Tate and calling him a misogynist, when really everything Andrew has said on his show is pretty middle of the line, grand scheme. But it revealed itself this week why Piers reacts this way, because his wife wrote an article since he's had an accident and an injury. So we're going to talk about it today, because poor Piers Morgan, he doesn't deserve what he's currently getting. Welcome back to the Green Egg Girl podcast. Piers drives me crazy. Please don't get me wrong. He interrupts his guests very frequently, almost never lets someone answer a question in full before he interrupts and inserts what he believes they believe into their mouth. And so far, the only person I have seen that has out-Piers Morgan is Tucker Carlson, which is always fun. However, what Tucker Carlson has that Piers Morgan does not is a respectful wife. Piers Morgan's wife, Celia Walden, wrote an article titled, "Caring for my invalid husband, Piers, is the biggest test of our wedding vows." The subtitle was, "I signed up to In Sickness and in Health, but it's almost 2 weeks since he broke his hip and my patience with my patient is wearing thin." I read the headline and I automatically felt bad for Piers. And I really just suspected that it was going to be her complaining. But it's so much worse. It's just so much worse. She was originally very concerned. He fell down some stairs and he broke a hip. And they went to the hospital, and she was hoping for the best, preparing for the worst. And it ended up, not super terrible. He had to have a hip replacement at 60, which, it happens. It's fine. But let's be real. This woman leads a very charmed life. Okay? She's a journalist, yes, but no one's really ever heard of her. I'm sure in England they have, but like Piers Morgan is internationally known. He makes a very good life and very good living to support her. And I don't think that she's a super supportive wife unless he's fully functional. So he had to have a new hip. And one of the lines in here is, "I signed up to In Sickness and in Health, but there was nothing in the small print about shower stools. And once I assembled the most hideous piece of furniture in existence, I sent Piers a picture captioned, 'This is what the end of marriage looks like.'" Which is a little funny, and I'm sure, there's some quirks, but why would you put that in print for the world to see? Right? Like, husbands and wives, yeah, okay, we joke, but that's pretty bad. He was still in the hospital, and his reply was way too soon. But she details out how she's been sending laughing emojis to friends who are asking if Piers is a good patient. Why are you making fun of your husband behind his back? Most men are not good patients, especially men who normally, travel the globe and have really intriguing conversations with people and are not bedbound at home with their harpy of a wife who feels the need to write articles to humiliate them while they're at their most vulnerable, right? When my husband's sick, I do everything I can to make him as comfortable as possible while he continues to work, because he doesn't stop. Now, he stops the physical labor, but my husband will sit and he will continue to work. Even when he's ill. He's miserable, but I'm not sitting and making fun of him behind his back while he's doing it. I'm just trying to make him as comfortable as possible while he continues forward. Men aren't great patients. Men don't want to go to doctors because men don't want to be slowed down because they've got shit to do. Why are you making fun of that? Like, ladies in general, why are we making fun of that? She details everything out in this of, like, I wanted to be a selfless wife and an endless tolerant nurse. But as days have worn on and Piers' snappiness has increased, my patience has worn thin. So I wrote about it to tell the world, to make sure people know that my husband's terrible and I'm the worst wife alive. Come on. But it's the end that got me just fuming. It's possible that I have, on occasion, left the remote control just a centimeter out of reach, with Love Island, the 12th season box set, on telly. The portion sizes may have been reduced, the carbs eliminated, and the treats withheld as I have morphed from Florence Nightingale into Nurse Ratched. And we'll get through this, of course we will. But I'll be honest with you. Right now, I'm one 4 a.m. fallen crutch away from Kathy Bates in misery. This article made me understand why Piers is a staunch feminist and does things like call Andrew Tate a misogynist on his show. Because if he didn't, his wife would kill him. That's the only conclusion that I can draw from this. Piers Morgan has a feminist harpy of a wife who's rationing his food, withholding carbs and treats from him simply because the man broke his hip and can't do things for himself. Honestly, that should wake him up to the fact that Andrew Tate's fucking right. If I'm being dead honest, the woman published this to humiliate her husband, who's a strong, very active, going around the world, interviewing people guy, who's incredibly sharp, probably has a little bit too much wit for his own good. And this is the thanks that he gets. He probably has to be a feminist because he's afraid to be stabbed to death in his sleep. I can't imagine if he got on his show and actually agreed with Andrew Tate and tried to come home to that. If simply being an invalid for having had an accident, he missed a stair in a hotel and just hit the floor full force. Last time I did that, thankfully I didn't break anything, but I felt like I'd been in a car accident. Now I'm 35. Piers Morgan's 60. Things break. And his wife is putting him through humiliation rituals. I have great respect for Piers Morgan, and he deserves far better treatment than he's receiving right now from his wife. He is a man who should be respected at the very minimum in his home by his wife, but he's not. Gentlemen, if you're also being held hostage by a wife like this and you're having to defend feminism and pretend that we live in some kind of patriarchy still because of this, I actually have a little bit more sympathy for you. I still think your testosterone level's probably like way too low, but I do have sympathy for you. And Piers Morgan, sir, you deserve better treatment than you're being given. And I'm very sorry that your wife humiliated you in public. I wish you a speedy recovery. And ladies out there, if this is your reaction and you think that taking care of your husband who will fully recover for 2 weeks gives you the right to treat them poorly, humiliate them in public, and just in general act like it's some great test of your wedding vows, you're the worst. You're the absolute worst. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Unmarried gentlemen, don't marry someone like that. Find someone who actually cares, who actually respects what you do, and who would lay down their time, energy, and everything else to make sure that you recover. Because that's what you deserve. Especially when you provide a beautiful life for someone. I hope you all have a great day.